Now, one thing I know that, you know, I've experienced and I know other ranchers have experienced is, trying to find that right mineral program for them. So when ranchers are, a bunch of different reps are driving in the yard saying, hey, look at this, we'd love to work with you. What are some things ranchers can do to look at those labels, look at that data, and truly sort out which program is going to be right for them?
So one of the things that I really urge my customers to do is to not get in a worry about the levels of different minerals on a tag. Just because one tag has 8,000 parts per million of zinc and another has 7,000, that doesn't necessarily mean that more is always better. One of the things that I'm really big on is reinforcing that as long as we are meeting the needs of those cattle and getting them the nutrients, the consistent consumption is probably more important than the level of the nutrients on the tag. And then also, whoever is providing you your mineral should be tied into your business, and they should be people that you trust and people that can help solve problems for you. The way I work with my customers is if I can't bring value to your business, then I really don't have a leg to stand on to ask for your business to begin with. So I'm really big on reinforcing to people that, hey, the people that you should be doing business with should bring value to your operation. If a company is just selling you on some kind of, I hate to use the word gimmick, but if they're just trying to sell you something and they're not helping you solve problems and helping bring value to your business, I personally just don't think that that's the best way to go about helping people. So again, I'm in the business of helping people and solving problems, and so if I can find one of our products to be a vehicle to solve your problems, then I feel like I'm more likely to earn your trust and earn your business as opposed to just putting a tag in front of you or trying to lowball the next guy that comes through the gate on price.
Well, absolutely. And that's another thing we talk about a lot is finding that team of people to help you with your ranch. Ranchers are jacks and jills of all trades, but it's really hard to be an expert in everything. I mean, I don't know anyone that is. I know a lot of very smart people, but um, we need help and support, and it's important to find the right person for that. Now, you mentioned not worrying about, you know, the levels necessarily and how of each mineral and how consistent consumption is important. But what about looking at organic versus inorganic sources? Can you talk a little bit about that and what ranchers need to be aware of?
Absolutely. So my stance on organics versus the inorganics is that both have a place for different operations. Organics are very effective and bypass all of our antagonism in the rumen. But in some parts of the world, we don't necessarily have enough antagonists to really justify the added cost. Other parts of the world, I'm a believer in like you have to have it. Again, an example of that is where I live here in East Texas. If we can have a good inorganic mineral that's using again just a balanced formulation and getting those cows everything and having the correct intake, our ground is pretty forgiving. Our water is very high quality, and we can get by with a good inorganic mineral most of the time. In parts of the world where we have some high sulfur levels in the water, some high molybdenum in the ground, we almost have to have that organic source to overcome the antagonism that our cattle are fighting. So again, it's just knowing what your ground has, what your water has, and making the best decision. And in a lot of cases, those organics can provide a pretty good return on investment. They're very good products, but it's not something I try to be very honest with people, and that not everyone needs it. And we can get the same level of performance again if an organic is not going to bring you any added value and isn't going to add any performance to your herd. I don't like recommending it. So That's my stance on it. It's another tool. Organics are another tool in our tool belt, and it's just knowing where the appropriate place to use it is.
So where should ranchers go to determine what they need? And I mean, is that going to extension? Is that going to their mineral rep? I mean, where can they go to sort out what situation they're in?
I would start with looking at their production records. So if you've been using an inorganic and you aren't getting the weaning weights that you want, you aren't getting the pregnancy rates that you want, you're having problems with sickness and health, that is a really good starting point. Incorporate your veterinarian, incorporate your mineral rep, and really build that team to help make that decision. From there, I would say that you also need to give yourself, if you choose to make that decision and choose to go with an organic to try and see some added production, give it time. You need to give it at least a year, really a couple of years to see if that you're getting that return you want. But I would look internally before I went really to anyone, before you called me, before you called another nutritionist or a sales rep. Go through your production records and see kind of how you're performing. And if you're not getting the performance that you want, maybe an organic mineral can help supplement that, and we can see some added value from it.
Folks, if you enjoyed this little bit of the conversation with Russell, you for sure want to check out the full conversation right here on YouTube or on your favorite podcast player. Just search for Casual Cattle Conversations, and you can listen to this conversation along with so many others. Or you can head to my website and read it. But with that, happy ranching, folks.